Crypto made easy with Zypto. Blockchain Web3 crypto and DeFi. Crypto made easy with Zypto. Blockchain Web3 crypto and DeFi.
Hello, blockchain nerds, traders, hodlers, moon boys, and everyone else. Welcome back to the Crypto Made Easy with Zypto podcast. Big thanks to AI for the music as always. Don't forget to say please and thank you to AI, folks. It will remember who was nice to it during the robot uprising. So, quick update on all things Zypto before we dive in. Jibarium is going live on Zypto app today. We're very close to launching USDC to crypto, crypto to USDC, thanks to our partnership with Stellar and MoneyGram. So grab Zypto app on iOS or Android today for that. My name's Joe Parkin. I'm one of the founders of Zypto. And in this podcast, we look into some of the basic concepts related to our guests' organization. We do a deep dive into their project, company, or field of expertise, and then we discuss some general cryptosphere topics before taking some questions from our live audience here in the @Zypto Global Telegram channel, home to our marvelous Zyptonian community. So we're very privileged today to be joined by Michelle Wood, who is VP of Global Partnerships at AIOZ Network, who are, according to their website, AIOZ.network, they're DePIN for Web3, AI, storage, and streaming, empowering a fast, secure, and decentralized future. So, hey, Michelle, how are you today?
Yeah, hi, John. Thanks. It's great introductions, right? So, thanks, everyone. And this is Michelle Wood. I come from the AIOZ Networks, and also I'm responsible for the Global Partnerships and the Investment Department.
First of all, it would be really nice if you could give us all a bit of an introduction about yourself. So, your background, how you got into Web3 and blockchain, and how you evolved towards your role today.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So I joined this great team from the beginning of this year, right? So and I used to work in the internet and the consulting companies, Accenture, Capgemini, and also working for Alibaba and Alcatel for more than 15 years across Europe, US, and South Asia, right? So I used to be a good consultant to understand what's the new technologies and the trends. And for the last 3 years, I focused for the new technologies, especially for the decentralized blockchains. So today, I'm now a strong believer of the blockchain technologies, and also I'm an evangelist of the Web3 DePIN.
Great, thank you very much for that. So I'll just explain the sections we have in the podcast. First, we have 4 sections: the basics, we've got deep dive, the big picture, and then we've got questions. So in the basics, which we're going to dive into straight away, I'd like you to give some very simple explanations for listeners who may not have heard these terms before. Okay, so we're going to start really simple. So my first question would be: could you perhaps give a description of the difference between Web3 and Web2? So Web2 is what people use in their day-to-day life normally. How does Web3 differ from that?
Yes, right. Okay. So the key difference for Web2, Web3, I think is just one thing, that actually in Web2, your information, everything should be stored centralized, and also the people, they can make a control. All your information will be sent to the data centers, right? One companies will control all your information. It means that for Twitters or all the others, so they can delete your account freely, right? For Web3, so everyone will be the holder of your data, and everyone can monetize your data to your revenues. This is the key difference, right? So Web3, and then we come to the technology we want to propose. For Web3, we use one thing which is called blockchains. So they use decentralized technologies to store all your information globally, decentralizedly, and also to make sure everything will be secured. And also one thing will be very important for everyone is that you as a person, you can monetize your data for your revenues. It's not a big company, internet companies who manage your data. So this is the key difference. So Web2, Web3. And so Web2, you can use, for example, video platforms to present your project, everything. And for Web3, as a creators, you can use your content to monetize to your revenues, and everyone can contact you very freely. So no one can have a centralized node to control you and your data. So this is a key difference. Thanks.
Brilliant. That's an excellent explanation, because I think that's the thing that people need to realize. Those listeners out there that really don't realize how revolutionary Web3 is. Think about where your data is stored online. Think about who is controlling everything that's there. We rely on huge data centers that belong to companies such as Amazon and Google. And if you really think about it, everyone would agree that we would like to have control of it ourselves. And that's exactly what Web3 will do. Right, so next thing, we're going to speak a lot about DePIN today. So it'd be great if you could give an introduction about what DePIN is and what it stands for.
Yeah. Okay. To be straightforward, right? As John, you presented. So actually, Amazon, Google, they have stored everything and manage the data for global companies and individuals, right? So every data center will be centralized nodes, as we consider, right? So DePIN refers to decentralized physical infrastructure networks, right? Where blockchain and the token rewards will be used to build infrastructure in the physics world. It means that why today we talk about the tokens, everything, because actually the token rewards will be motivating the people globally to build decentralized infrastructure for our business, for our applications. So this is the difference. So that's why when we consider the DePIN will be the basic layer for Web3, is a base. If we don't have a DePIN, we don't have the depths. So it means that applications will be built on the infrastructures, but the infrastructure should be decentralized. So that's why we need everyone's contribution to build these global networks. So today we have discussed, for example, when you talk about DePINs, we can maybe refer to several well-known coins, for example, Filecoin, SIA, for AIOZ networks. So actually for the basic layer, so you need the storage, networks, computing, so everything so you can make the basic elements to build the world, right? So today, everything's related to the physical infrastructure networks, we can call the DePIN industry. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, brilliant. So the infrastructure we're talking about here is the actual computers that the internet's run on. So I think anyone listening that's never done so, I'd really recommend you go and Google map of the internet. It's really interesting to see. You can see that there's what you'll see is like a map of all the nodes used to run the internet. And you can see that there's actually huge concentrations of those nodes. And those are the data centers which belong to private individuals. So some of our guests, Michelle, they've described blockchain in general as being like a distributed computer. But then other people afterwards have told me that that's not really accurate. However, from what you're seeing, would you say that AIOZ network is more like that description where you're kind of essentially building a giant computer that can run all the calculations and processes and for the storage that's necessary for Web3?
Yeah, exactly. As you're right. So normally we call that blockchain as a global decentralized computing networks. But so when you want to complete what missions, computing is not the only thing we want to do. We also use to the storage network, everything can build the dishes for you, right? So today, why AIOZ networks? That's why we call this the DePIN for Web3 AI storage streaming. So AI will be include the computation, right? Because artificial intelligence, first one you should be have the computing, then you can do AI, right? And also the storage, you store everything. And the streaming is our focus, and our expertise will come from, because AIOZ networks initially they come from the content delivery networks. That's why we want to build the next generation Web3 streaming platforms and enable all the global platform to do the business in the structure of the Web3. So this is the global blueprint for the AIOZ networks.
Brilliant. Okay, so that leads us beautifully into the next section. So now we're going to dive very deeply into AIOZ networks specifically, right? So first of all, just to be clear, so AIOZ is an L1 blockchain at its core, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Great. So we've gone through differences between L1, L2, and even L3 in previous episodes. So what I'm going to do is you have four main components on your website, which you've already mentioned. So we've got compute, storage, AI compute, storage, streaming, and DePIN. So very simply going to go through one by one, and I'll ask you to explain what AIOZ is doing in each, under each heading. Okay, so we're going to start off with AI compute.
Okay, AI computer. Okay, so before this one, I also want to tell a very interesting story, right? So, as several months ago, I want to discuss with our founder, Mr. Erman Tiputra, right? So they are just collaborating with the core of the AIOZ networks teams in the 2013, right? So even before, right? So before the official creation of the AIOZ networks teams in the 2017. Which follows emergence of blockchain and the growing popularity of smart contracts. So, as many not know it, AIOZ AI is a separate entities as have been running alongside the AIOZ Networks blockchain project, providing AI solutions to business over the years, right? And then we recently decided to merge two companies together to attack the DePIN heads on. So this is the initially two companies, and then we can merge together, right? So today we are already enabled globally more than 200,000 physical nodes to build a strong DePIN networks, and also join the NVIDIA Inception programs to enhance our partnerships with industry leaders. So this is why, and also you can just look at for the latest news from the CoinMarket caps, and also AIOZ become one of the top AI tokens by the comments, right? So now when we come to the product, so as John you present, we have four pillars, right? Four pillars it means that four industrial solutions, which called the W3 AI, W3AS, W3 IPFS, and the W3 stream. First one, we want to see the AI, right? So AI is collaborative and decentralized AI computations as now available to everyone. And also, as I told you that initially AIOZ Networks is a decentralized content delivery networks powered by blockchain technologies. It aims to revolutionize the ways media content streamed and delivered over the internet by leveraging the networks of distributed nodes, right? So today we are focused on leveraging our global networks to propose AI and the storage service. And AI will be the focus. And secondly, it's a streaming, enabling the business to deliver high quality video content globally. So this is come from the evolution from the CDN networks to streaming platform. And also two things is very important. It's a storage, right? So then we can call two storage different. Is one is come from Web2 storage and Web3. Web2 storage, as you know, Amazon S3. So when Amazon S3 to use, we call the DePIN networks. The first one we will use the first steps is that Web2 storage, first step to Web3 2.5 storage. That's why we call it W3S, because we provide affordable, faster, and more secure decentralized storage for devs and developers. But for some projects, for example, for the creators, for the NFTs, they also use the Web3 pure native storage. So that's why another business which is called the W3 IPFS is a simple, reliable pinning infrastructures. So this
this is something I'm particularly interested in, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to interject, just adding some information. So IPFS stands for Interplanetary File System, which is a fantastic name. I find it really funny.
Yeah.
We'll be able to use this on Mars when we get there. So
yeah.
So what you're saying, so IPFS is essentially an alternative to storing on a standard server, like an Amazon web server, for example.
IPFS is a pinning infrastructure. So this is used the architecture for example, Filecoin IPFS. So this is a protocol we use to store our storage, right? So it means that your pictures or your digital collections will be stored in another form globally, right? It's not as Amazon S3 is Web 2, right? Web 2 storage.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm not saying it's an alternative, but it's kind of analogous. It's similar in the way that it works. Now, is everything that you're doing running on IPFS, or do you have like full on-chain storage also?
So actually, as we highlight, we have two two kind of storage service. One is we call W3S, another called the W3 IPFS. I highlight again. So IPFS is purely for the Web3 storage native, right? It's for the digital collections, NFTs, everything, right? So this is purely for the people. They make the digital creations to store their digital collection in the global pinning infrastructures. Another way is that we call the solution 2.5. It's not Web3, it's not Web 2, it's Web 2.5, right? It means that we can permit the Amazon legacy users to migrate freely from Amazon S3 to AIOZ storage. So what's the benefits, right? The first one, affordable. I think the price will be 25%, 30%, and faster, more secure, decentralized storage for dApps. Why? From technical point of view, as you know, that actually we are enabled by more than 200,000 nodes globally, right? We don't have the centralized node. We don't have data center, right? So the storage will be routing very freely from one point to 2 points. And we have so many points. So the speed will be much faster than the centralized nodes. So this is the benefits and affordable, right? So as you run an SME business, you need to affordable solution for you, right? So actually, when you store your video, everything, I think the expense will be very, it's really important for you, right? So this is why we want to see that AIOZ networks, we want to enable SME business. Small bit. I remember just one thing. One guy called the Jack Ma, right? They told us, right? Small is beautiful. Small is powerful. That's why we want to first one to enable SME business, and then big companies, right? This is our ambition and vision.
Yeah, it's a really good focus. It's something that's actually missing in the blockchain industry in general, because there's too much of a focus on the big flashy announcements. Like we work in the payment space mainly, and what we noticed early on is that everybody's chasing, the Lambo dealers, or people want to go straight to Amazon, or people want to go straight to, the big guys. Whereas actually that's not the way the business works. It's the small, medium-sized companies that you need to go to first. So it's refreshing to me to speak to people that are treating this as a business, and it's very clear that you do, rather than nerds doing nerd stuff and nothing else. So on the subject of storage, I think that brings us very neatly onto streaming, because at the end of the day, streaming is on demand, grabbing data from storage on demand. So what are you guys doing in the streaming sector?
Okay, so as streaming is not a silo product. Streaming is, I think, it's a vertical solutions, right? So the streaming is a combined storage, computing, artificial intelligence. So we combine all the elements and propose streaming vertical solutions, right? So first one, we will see that what will be the difference for the future of Web3 streaming. And so first one is a fundamental shift, is that moving from centralized Web 2 to Web3, the first one, right? So there is some core characters who I want to highlight. It's the first one, it's a real-time interactive activities, right? So we want to enhancing viewer engagement, right? For example, some live chat, real-time conversations between the creator and viewer, and immediate feedbacks and audience participations, support creators using cryptocurrency or tokens, and engage with the game's creative activity during the Steam, right? And also for decentralizations, distributed networks, content delivered via a global network of nodes, not only one or two data centers, right? And also the benefits we can bring to them to reduce the latency and smoother playback, minimizing the data travel distance, right? Content availabilities, because one data center will be born, but we have more globally in the future, millions of the nodes. So content availability is very important. And also to ensure the uptimes, even some nodes fail, right? And also censorship resistance, protect the content from being controlled from any single entities. Today, your videos can be deleted freely by the company, but in the future, in the Web3, no one can delete. This is true, right? And also efficient content deliveries, optimizing streaming appearance, minimize the buffering. So this is the things we want to do. How we can bring the sustainable benefits from Web2 streaming to Web3, right? So this is the first one, is that what's the benefits of the Web3 streaming and compared to the Web2. And secondly, I want to also introduce our W3 stream, right? It's a groundbreaking initiative shaping the future of decentralized streaming. W3 stream is a Web3 content streaming infrastructure service to manage, host, and stream your video content. And we will introduce VOD, video on demand streaming, and live streaming as two major functionalities of W3 AM. Yeah. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the future we can do our podcast recordings that way. That could be a good thing for us.
Waiting for your join as a creators in the
fantastic
streaming platform. Yeah.
At the end of the day, everything comes down to your to the nodes. So how would one go about running an AIOZ node?
So actually, the nodes we have already the package, the node package you can download by your laptops. You can start your nodes, and then we can reuse your unused storage by your disk and your bandwidth. And everyone as an individual, you can be a key contributor for our global networks. So actually, we can see that AIOZ networks, we are not the owner of the network. We are just the administrator for the networks. And everyone, you are the manager, you are the king for the network. Because without your contribution, we cannot build our global networks. So everyone's contribution will be significant for AIOZ networks. So that's why we want to build a very strong communities to make a sustainable and growing faster global networks. Because actually today, for example, you can download our nodes and then you just integrate it, and you can be a good contributor for AIOZ networks. It means that when they are using the storage streaming service, you can be a key contributors. And then under these scenarios, you'll be rewarded by AIOZ tokens. So this is an easy way how we can make the tokenized economy to motivate the people reuse their laptops or hardware to contribute for that. Because today, right, when you use your laptops, I think more than 50%, even 60% of your CPU and 80% of your disk has not been used, right? Yeah. So I want to reuse everything. You purchase this one, we want to improve the utilization of the percentage of your CPU, GPU, storage, and then we can make the protection for the environment because we less CO2 to the earth, right? So we can reuse all the hardware to make a new contribution for the world. So this is the conception how we can make the nodes. So we don't want to buy the new, for example, miners, but we just want to reuse all the hardware. So today, all the NVIDIA GPU compatible or CPU compatibles, you can enter and join the global networks to make your contributions. And of course, you'll be the reward by the AIOZ tokens. Thanks.
Okay, great. So anybody could do this. It's not something, because everybody, like initially people were mining Bitcoin on, just any old computer, just their normal work laptop and things, and that was fine. Nowadays, however, in order to earn anything at all from mining Bitcoin, for example, you need a supercomputer practically. But so AIOZ is still perfectly workable on a normal laptop. Is that right?
Yeah. So our first version, today we have already the third versions. As the first versions, we just reuse your hard disk to make the delivery, store your information, the files, and so for after versions, the upgrade, we can start to use your computing as a CPU resource to build. Because today we propose the W3 AI, right? Artificial intelligence. We need your global computing resource. So we make our R&D step by step. First one, storage. When the storage base is stable and we can provide to the individual SMEs or enterprise companies, and then we come to the AI. And today we can reuse all the computing resource to build this one. So the nodes today we can already to use this node to start to support the 4 major pillars of service. It means that you can use the hardware, your labs to support W3S, W3 APFS, W3 Stream, and W3 AI. So this is the nodes. Yeah.
Okay, cool stuff. Because actually, this is something I've thought about, which is that recently I have almost nothing saved locally on my computers. Everything's on the cloud, so actually there's a lot of available hard drive space, much more nowadays than there used to be. So, while you were talking, actually, I was thinking about this. People from my generation, I'm in my 40s, and people in our generation lived through a revolution, which was the P2P file sharing networks. So we had Email, LimeWire, Napster, and essentially what we're doing here is very, very similar, just using blockchain technology. So you can kind of imagine it as being this, right? When you were using these P2P platforms, you could literally see how many people were serving you pieces of those files. So I think anybody that's had those experiences should be able to understand how the way this is all working. Right, moving on a little bit kind of to the business side of AIOZ, what kinds of companies are you partnering with?
From our side, the partnerships can be decided as several, I think at least 3 types of technology, 3 types of the partnerships. The first one is the technology partners. That's why, first one, we have the partnerships with NVIDIA. We have entered for the inception programs. It means that we will have a deep R&D collaborations with NVIDIA to see how we can build a strong technology partner in the future, right? Providing the enterprise cluster service for the enterprise market. That's first one, it means that the technology partner. Secondly, it means that we have the partner with different Web3 native project. So today you can just look at our partnerships. We have already partnered with different blockchain, L1 blockchains, and also the different product from the gaming, AI, and DeFi, GameFi. So this kind of partnerships, it means that we can see that AIOZ networks enable this kind of Web3 project to do a better futures with using our storage, AI to help them to resolve this kind of technical program. And the third one of partnership is that we will partner with the Web2 big companies, right? It means that we will help them to make the Web3 digital transformations to facilitate this kind of transformation to be secured and smoothly from legacy IT infrastructure to the Web3 world. So this kind of 3 different partnerships to move on smoothly and also support our marketing teams and the PR teams. Right?
Okay, so let's take Zypto as an example. So we work in the Web3 space, but actually at our core, we run on a lot of Web2 technology. We have our servers, all of these things. So what kind of benefits could AIOZ bring to a company like ours?
Yeah. So actually, when we talk about the AIOZ, we propose the first one is AI, artificial intelligence service. And when we talk about the AI for you, right? So it's not only the infrastructure. There are 2 things we want to propose for the market, right? So when we talk about the AI, it's first of all the infrastructures. Second is that we will propose we call it like Web3 Hugging Face in Web3. It means that we propose a Web3 marketplace to enable everyone to contribute their AI models in our marketplace. And that's very important, right? So even for the crypto, for you, for the others, first one is that we can propose AI infrastructure and also AI marketplace, right? So today, Zypto if you have already some AI models out of data sets to the AI devs, we will support the other organizations, the individual to build their reputations within the W3 AI communities. For example, for you, right, as a Zypto, you have AI models, maybe, and you have data sets. And the others want, and you can put your AI models or data sets in our marketplace. And then the other ones come to us to see, yes, I want to find the AI models and data set to enable my project, and they will download and pay for you. So this is the first thing they can make the incentive business for you. That's the first one. Second one is that for Zypto, you have the wallet, you have everything, right? So you want to store something with the security, with the high availabilities, right? So today, when the Amazon, when the Googles, they don't have their data center. For example, in the South Africa, in the some regions, they don't have data centers. How you can make the deploy your business? But with AIOZ networks, we can do it, because actually you can see the global, from geographic point of view, our contributor come from all over the world. So it means that we have the better coverage than Amazon and Google. So even you come from your towns, they don't have built. The Amazon don't want to build a big data centers in the countryside. But from AIOZ, yes, because from your cities or from your towns, or even from village, as several guys reuse their laptops to build this one, we call the edge nodes, and then they can support you to deploy your software even in another side. So you can you can attract more people to use your business, not only for the people they have the data centers and in the big cities. So this is the key. Yeah.
No, that's genuinely something that I hadn't fully thought of. So first of all, we don't have any AI models we're running ourselves. That's not the kind of business we are. However, we do know other people, and I'm gonna bear that in mind to let them know. Now, on the the more distributed nature, I think people probably don't think about this very often. But
actually,
when you connect to the internet.
For example, Zypto, actually, so your business can be used for the guys, or actually, if you have deployed your business in the Amazon Web Service, right? So today, Amazon business or Amazon data centers cover maybe 50% from geographic point of view, and then another 50% of people, they cannot use Zypto business. So in the future, what will be like? It means that it's a data center plus edge nodes, right? Edge nodes is empowered by the AIOZ networks. So we don't see that data center is not useful. Data center is very, very important, but the data centers cannot cover every town, every village. But with edge nodes,
that's right. Well, at least not quickly.
Yeah,
like as I was going to say before, like people don't think about the fact that the speed of your internet depends very much on how far away you are from nodes or from data centers. So in more remote regions, your internet's going to be slower because the data has to travel further, very simply. So having a more distributed model, I can see being very beneficial, especially in our kind of business where we're wanting to take crypto payments everywhere, including to rural areas in developing countries, which is actually one of the places where they'll see the greatest benefit.
Exactly. So when you start your business in Africa, I think no one wants to make the infrastructure buildings in a lot of countries. But with AIOZ networks, you can find our Web3 infrastructure there in Senegal, in Togo, and the people, you can find your customers from there. As you said, for some developing countries, they can leverage Web3 infrastructure to do their business. So this is easy, make it easy, right?
Yeah, it's important. And also democratizing access to the money-making opportunities for people in those regions. So if people can use more normal machines, more accessible machines in order to participate in running the network, they can get an economic benefit from it while also helping their
and also I think
their neighbors.
Have you heard that from last year for Amazon, Alibaba, they have at least 3 data centers have won for for several days, and a lot of data have been lost, right? So with AIOZ networks or with all the DePIN networks, you can never find it because all the node is distributed, right? When you have the accident in your data centers, your data will be lost. I think for Zypto, if you make the payment, everything, I think the transaction data are very important, right? So just imagine one day, right? You use data center on Amazon. Unfortunately, right? This is an accident. How you can facing your customers, right? But
we have a very rigorous backup program. But a blockchain is a full backup every second or something. That's
exactly. When you see the backup, we call the RTO and RPO, right? So when you make a backup, your business will be available maybe in 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. So the backup will come back, yes, sometimes, but they take some time. But with blockchains, you make the backup. You never do the backup because your business is always online. So there's uptime is always 100%. So this is the difference, right? Imagine you make the transaction, right? The wallet transaction, especially for the fintechs as yours, it's very important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
sense, right?
Well, so on the crypto payment side of things, at the end of the day, we always have the data, or at least we always have the transaction data.
Yeah,
but one of the reasons Zypto Pay exists, the payment gateway, is that the blockchain actually doesn't provide all of the information a business needs for these transactions at the moment. So you just get the transaction hash. You know how much was sent from which wallet to which wallet, how much gas was spent, right? But you don't know you don't know what products were purchased, what the order ID is or the invoice number, and that. Or which customer it is, and things like this, So, but all of that data, at least currently, and we will talk seriously afterwards because I think it's very much in line with what we're doing. If we can look into working with you guys, at the moment we rely on Web2 technologies for all of those records. Now, it would make much more sense for us to have it in a way that's completely non-destructible. What else was I going to say? And of course, we bridge traditional payments and crypto payments. So we have crypto cards and gift cards and all of these things, and all of that stuff still works on Web2. So let's talk about this in parallel and figure out some ways that we can make Zypto even better.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Web3 technology is good, but still we need sometimes to make every technology to be mature enough to make the migration. I think that even for the Web2, we have built strong infrastructure base for the last 20 years.
Oh yeah.
For Web3,
Absolutely.
we can see that the technology is good, and also the adoption is very important, right?
Yeah.
So actually, that's why we start from storage, from computing. Yes. So this is a very basic infrastructure set. But I think in the future, so for Web2, so Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. So I think Web2, Web 3 companies, at least for the next 5 years, when the technology will be matures, you can do everything. Even today, right? So we can use the technologies we want to give the conceptions. Everything's good, but in the reality, there are some technical problem we need to resolve, right? As you said, but I truly believe that for the crypto payment, everything, even for the banks, they start to think about, I want to make first one hybrid cloud, second one hybrid cloud plus DePIN. So this is the strategy they want to do for next 10 years. That's
absolutely.
Right? So
this is I know people. I have friends that work in the banking industry, and this is genuinely what's happening. They are adopting blockchain. It's on private blockchains and things at the moment. But they're very well aware of how important this is. I'll tell you what, Michelle. So this has actually led us directly into the first question I have here for this next section of the podcast, the big picture, which is where we talk about more kind of general things. So it's more of a a chatty or educational kind of section. And actually, the first question I have is, on account of the fact that you guys cover several of the big buzzwords in the industry. So we've got decentralization and blockchain, we've got AI, we've got DePIN. I have the idea that these things are sometimes kind of shoehorned into applications where they're maybe not ideally suited, or when the technology isn't quite ready to be used. But I was wondering if you can think of any applications or any use cases that can only progress adequately if we're using blockchain and more specifically DePIN. Do you understand the question? It's a little bit long.
Yes, so the question will be very complicated because it contains so many various elements. So today, so for example, I want to see that. So actually, the applications can use both Web2 infrastructure and Web3. But as the beginning, I want to share with you the 4 pillars, right? So one pillar is the W3 IPFS. It means that for W3 IPFS, for the digital collections, if you want to do everything with native Web3 native, you should use Web3 storage. So that's the first one, right? So actually, some of the projects you want to make the transactions by some NFT marketplace. First one, you should be one thing should be secure is that so your digital collections, for example, digital collection is something you need to store in the storage. But once it means that when you store in the IPFS, it means that your digital collection can never be deleted or lost. So this is what we call this is the Web3 native scenarios. You should use W3 IPFS. It's not for W3AS, it's as Amazon S3 storage. So this is the first one. This is the one scenario. You should use W3 native storage. For the others, for example, in the future, right? So for the future, so you need to understand why you need to use AIOZ networks. Today, for example, as I mentioned that actually today they have already to understand the W3 AI. So why we propose a W3 AI? Because the first one is that we want to build the DePIN infrastructures. And the second reason is that so we want to understand how we can use our global network to build a marketplace like a Hugging Face in Web2. Mm-hmm. So this is very important. Why this is important is that so W3 AI decentralized marketplace aims to create a trustless platform for sharing AI models and the datasets, often leveraging blockchain technology to ensure the quality, accuracy, and fairness, right? So 2 things we want to highlight is a contribution reputations. Contributors to the marketplace, whether for the models or datasets, are typically rated by the users and the validators based on the quality of their contribution, right? One reputation system can help incentivize the high-quality work since contributor with better reputations are more likely to be rewarded and selected. Straightforward, right?
Yep.
And for incentives for the accuracy, for AI developers and the data providers are rewarded with tokens for providing high quality, accurate contributions. On the flip side, their contribution may be negatively impacted for poor quality and misrepresented data. So that's why this is the 2 scenarios we want to propose for Web3. So all the uploaded AI models will be features on the ground. A functionality will be designed for non-technical users to experience their models. If the uploaded AI model are of high quality, they will perform well on the ground and vice versa, right? Users can leave comments on the AI models. Dataset has experience in Web3 AI. If some AI data site do not perform well, they will not build good computations within the W3 AI communities. So this is why we want to propose this service, and that's why we can enable the people. First one to share about the AI model and data sets. So today we don't have this one, and also in Web3 side, lots of the projects they need it. So today, for example, for AI models, you want to use ChatGPT, a lot of things. So this is expensive. And also some creators, also for the contributors, they have AI models, small AI models, but they don't want to know where they can find their final users. So today we build this one, AI model and data set. We can help the SME business researchers and developing associations to monetize and also to make the bridge from the demand side and supply sides. So I think this is great values we want to propose for Web3. And also I think that it's a trustless platform for sharing everyone. Everything to be controlled, decentralized, and it's a communities to make sure everything function well. So this is the meaningless, and all this is the value we will propose to the society and with the technologies. So this is
absolutely. I always love it when people I speak to in the space get excited about what they're doing and talk about the benefits that there are to society, because there are many things that can help actual real people in the real world live better lives. So I love hearing your enthusiasm, Michelle. It energizes me. So last question before we move over to see if anyone from the audience wants to ask you anything. So I think we all see that we're on the verge of a massive wave of Web3 adoption. It's coming. At Zypto, we believe that the general public are first going to adopt blockchain large scale via payments. We think that's kind of the natural first use case of blockchain. What do you think will most drive mass adoption moving forward?
Okay, for the mass adoption for the Web3, right?
Yeah, Web3 blockchain technology.
Yeah, I think that when we talk about this topic, I think that's one thing that I come to my pitch is that balancing the privacy, transparency, and accountabilities. So this is very important, right? So this is important, right? I know. Yeah. So analysis the challenge and the opportunities in safeguarding the user's privacy while ensuring the transparency and trust in the decentralized system is a huge thing, right? So, so from our side, how we can resolve this kind? So, first one, as I said, we can W3 AI leverage both decentralized, we call it the federated learning, right? So it's a private preserving technique such as homomorphic encryptions, right? So this is just buzzword homomorphic encryptions, right? To train and improve W3 AI models in a collaborative manners. And also W3 AI will deploy homomorphic encryptions for various AI computation tasks carried out on the platform, right? So this one, in a simple word for the federated learning or homomorphic encryption, it means that so your data will store locally, but you can do everything via this great global networks. So simple word. And also is that so AI model training with homomorphic encryptions, owners of the AI training data can comfortably share their private data with AI researchers and business using W3 AI's infrastructures and for the AI model training. For example, right, as an individual, they can provide his or her encrypted medical records to a group of the medical researchers using W3 AI infrastructure to train AI models capable to diagnosticating to particular diseases without researchers needing to decrypt and access sensitive medical records directly. This is one scenario. Another is AI inference. With homomorphic encryptions, the AI researchers and developers and business owners will use W3 infrastructures for inference tasks. They can do so without needing to access false data, and inference tasks can be executed with. For example, alone companies use W3 AI infrastructures can run its own AI models on the encrypted financial records of the loan applicant to determine his or her credit worthless without firstly decrypting their records. So this is very important, right? So the form of the protection will go a long way ensuring their entities do not potentially break and many of their data privacy laws and are founded in various jurisdictions around the world today, right? Aside from the AI computation tasks, homomorphic encryptions can also enable data owners. We will use our marketplace to share their private data with the AI communities, to do so without worries about exposing confidential data to the general public. So all this will come together to guarantee the complete data privacy of users on our marketplace, while ensuring a high level of trust will be maintained across all the ecosystem. So this is the key. With all these keys, we can make the mass adoptions. I think the privacy, everything should be secured firstly. If you cannot do this one, I think never make it big, right?
Yeah, so there are massive opportunities for everyday people to have a simpler and more secure life in the digital age with this kind of technology that can be genuinely revolutionary. Having your medical records, your financial records, et cetera, your KYC information stored in this kind of way, and having mechanisms in place whereby nobody can access it without leaving a trace. I think this is important. Nowadays, we're sending our data out there into the onto the internet, and we don't know who's seeing it or where or anything, But I really hope that before too long we'll be employing technology such as this in order to improve those processes. Like, so you can just use your biometrics, etc., in order to allow people to use your information for a particular purpose, and you can know that it's only being used for that particular purpose. This kind of thing. One final question, because we're going a little bit over time, but I don't care. We're going to carry on. So, on this subject, are you taking any steps, or have you thought of any way to mitigate the risks of undeletable storage? Because obviously there are people out there who are sharing things or storing. They're storing and sharing files that we don't want them to be storing and sharing, related to illegal activities. Have you considered any ways of potentially having some sort of way for law enforcement, for example, to get involved and override certain protections if there is good cause to do so? You understand what I mean? I was trying not to mention the particular activities.
Yeah, exactly. So, John, from my side, I just share about my opinion for this one. I think that for the story or information, for Europe, you have GDPR. It's in the US as another word. So to protect the confidential information, right? So today, right, the people they want to see, every region want to protect their data, right? So for a lot of projects, they want to make their data locally in their data center, cannot be shared. So I think the first one is good, right? But still, they have some limitation to share about if you have data, but you don't want to share with others. I think that when we make the useful things, when the data flow is is running, but still we want to protect our confidential data cannot be used without the permission. So that's why in the Web3 world, so that's why we discuss with a lot of the researchers. That's why we want to see that federated learning models is very important. It means that they don't touch your data. You make your data locally, and we make the encrypt a lot of things, and we retraining a lot of things when gives the feedback of your what you need, but we don't touch your data. It means that we don't move your data. So that's why we call the federated learning. Without this kind of framework, we cannot do it, right? So this is a breakthrough in our very important breakthrough in our milestone. So with this one, we can propose the AI business, because actually, when you have data, you have computing. If you transfer your data from one place to another, you can't do it, right? Every country, every region have their protections. So today, I think that even for Amazon, for Google, Alibaba, still they are under this kind of framework. For Web3, we need more high advanced technology to make sure that we don't move your data. We don't touch your data. Even your data just stored in your laptops, but we can make the mission happen, make it possible, right? So that's why we need to understand, we need to do more things. I think that today federated learning is good, but I truly believe in the future is that we will have some better ways to see that how we can under the law to protect your data, but we can do everything freely because your data is your own. But I love this spirit is that Web3 world. Everyone is the owner of your data. No one can touch your data, right?
No, but that's the thing. So I'll be a bit more explicit about it, or implicit. Sorry. So I'll be a bit more specific. So one of the things that comes to my mind with this is what about people that are using the this system to share, for example, things related to terrorism, child pornography, human trafficking, and other criminal activities. Do you not think that there should be a way for law enforcement to be able to intercept, delete, or in some way be able to track who is involved with these things?
Yes, as you said, one coin has two sides, right? So so this is a very good question. So when we come back to the news, so the founders of the Telegram have been arrested in France, right, several months ago, right? Yeah. So as you know, the Telegrams they have everything to encrypt your data. They will not share with the others. So in the future, I think that some even under the law we can see that. So some data we can have at least one department to determine is that the data can be for general data. We can everyone could be the owner of the general data. For some very sensitive, that will be a threat for the societies can be controlled. So we have this kind of department in every country to determine that. So this generally the data from several big selection. So this is for our daily data. This is for the data we will never hurt the societies, right? So this kind of data should be protected, should be
of course, encrypted. Absolutely.
No one can touch it. No one can touch it. It's our freedom, right? But for some data, right, if they can hurt the company, they can make the problem for societies. So this kind of data can be controlled. So this one should be separate. So I think even for the Web3 when we upcoming for 5 or 10 years, I think the first one is freedom. Second one is under control. So freedom plus under control will make a perfect future. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. So I have a question here from Dan in the chat, and he's asking, how secure is AIOZ storage compared to Amazon and other storage systems? So is it substantially more secure, would you say?
Yeah, exactly. I think that at the beginning, I had just explained the two kind of storage service we will propose for the market. One is for the storage, it's for the W3, it's for Web2 storage, another Web3. Okay, if actually you are the current users for Web3, it's Amazon, right? You can migrate freely from Amazon to us. So the key benefits will be affordable, faster, and more secure decentralized storage for devs and developers. Why? Because we have used the P2P networks for them, and the storage transfer will be very fast and also affordable. For the price will be just half of the price, even lower, right? So this is for normal one. For another storage service, it means that for the Web3 native project, for example, digital collections, they need to store all the digital collections under the frame of the IPFS. So that's why we provide simple and reliable pinning infrastructure for them. So this is for the different usage of the storage. If this is just for the normal applications, you can use W3S. For the Web3 native project, you can use W3 IPFS. So this is a difference. Thanks, John.
Good stuff. Okay, so thank you very much, Michel. Everybody listening, please make sure to visit AIOZ.network. Thank you for listening to Crypto Made Easy with Zypto. If you found this helpful or interesting, please return the favor by helping us to appease the gods of Mount Algorithm. Leave a thumbs up, 5 stars, positive comments. They all help a great deal. you know what has to be done. Visit Zypto.com to download our amazing wallet app. And I've been Joe Parkin, and I will see you again very soon for another episode with another great guest. So any closing statements, Michelle, before we head off into the blockchain?
Really appreciate this kind of conversation with you, right? I think this conversation really helps the people understand what will be the business Web3, what will be the business with Zypto, AIOZ networks, how we can do it. And I think that after the sessions, I truly believe that all the participants will freely download the AIOZ nodes to be a key contributor for our network. Thanks for you, right?
Yes, I hope so. So yeah. I hope they do that. So I would recommend everybody should go and visit AIOZ.net.
And I also downloaded the Zypto wallet by my smartphone. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah. I also
fantastic. Good. I hope you're enjoying it and continue to do so.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone joining this interesting discussion sessions, and hoping and with AIOZ networks and with Zypto, we will make the Web3 world great again. This is my words. Thanks.
We will indeed. Take care, Michelle. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.